Oh no, she's frozen. Oh no, Monique. Ah, am I live on Monique's channel and Facebook and she froze? Yep, she sure froze. She'll be right back, guys. There she is.
I'm like, I froze. Who froze? I'm back up. Hi, everybody.
That was really funny because as soon as I hit the go live and it finished the countdown, you like stopped, you froze. And I was like, oh no, am I on Monique's channel all by myself? Yes, I was.
Yes, are
Hey,
you on
friends.
my channel too?
Yeah, we're
Awesome.
on. So if you are watching this, you are watching either from the Sobecca channel or the Open Gates Facebook page or the Open Gates YouTube. And Monique, is this the first time that you've done a live stream on YouTube?
No, we did one last Thursday and it went super well. We actually, Mark had the iPad going and the iPhone going, and he had them there. And I kept looking between screens because he had the YouTube live and the Facebook live, and everybody was wonderful though. But it was just kind of like, okay, who am I talking to? What am I looking at?
It can be a bit much, but we're here tonight. So for those of you that just saw a random person all over Monique's social media, you're welcome for the takeover.
You're welcome. Hi, everybody.
Wait, hold on. It looks like we've got somebody saying to turn down the device volume. Can we get Mr. Monique to do a sound check in the other room, make sure that we sound okay?
Sure.
Okay, there you go. I turned down the volume and we'll see.
Yeah, and you can still hear me okay?
I can hear you okay. Is it better?
For me, you're coming through just perfectly.
Okay.
But I don't, without knowing what the audio was, or what the audio issue was, or maybe they were just saying they had to turn down their device volume.
Yeah,
I don't know.
be.
It never hurts to have a sound check.
That's right. Well, and this is all new. So this is a new program that Becca set up. It's actually pretty amazing. It's kind of fun. And I get to see everybody. Hi, guys.
I did not develop the program.
I'll give you credit.
I just configured the setup. Okay, we've got lots of people saying everything sounds good. We got, good. Heather said there was a bit of an echo. Okay.
Is it better now, Heather?
But people are saying it's better.
Down, and Mark, is it okay? Yep, he's given the thumbs up. So
we're just going to rip it and go. Yeah, there we go. All right, so let's just jump in here. Normally I do this on a Friday night, but Monique's going to be out of town on the night that I had slated for the Open Gates live unboxing. And as you guys know, I love to do the Open Gates boxes live. I like to do the unboxing live on YouTube because there isn't really much thought that needs to go into it. Monique has spent so much time carefully curating 2 kits for you in the boxes. And I don't want to take those kits apart because they're so nicely laid out. So I feel like if I do those as a recorded video, I'd be done in a minute, maybe 2. But this gives me time to talk about it and to sew it. But more important, oh, she's gone again. This is going to be a theme tonight, I think. I have no idea what keeps happening. You keep disappearing.
I'm not doing it on purpose, I promise.
It's okay. Sorry. Well, we can bring you back in when you come in. So the recurring theme is you'll disappear and you'll come back and it'll be fine. But I was just saying, like, I really enjoy opening these boxes on live streams, especially with Monique being here. So that's what we're going to do tonight. Before I open and showcase all of the items that Monique has put into the June 2022 Open Gates box, I want to talk a little bit about what she's got planned for 2022. I know there's some fun things. She announced one of them already, and I think I'm pretty excited about it because it's behind her. Monique, you've got a sew along coming along.
I do. We started last Thursday night, and basically you can always go back and look on the videos on either our YouTube channel or our Facebook channel, and you can see what we did, but we just really went over what you needed. We're not meeting until the 20, let's see, I wrote it down, so I made sure. the 23rd at 7 o'clock Central Time, and we're going to start sewing. And we're going to be doing this quilt right here. It's called Ebb and Flow. And this is
Mhm.
the first one I did, and I did it out of Coastal Chic, which was my second to last fabric line. And now we're going to do it out of Dusk to Dawn. So I'm super excited about it. Yay. And I am currently out of kits for it, but if you are interested, you can email me at info@opengatequilts.com, and I can order more jelly rolls and fabric for it, because it takes 2.5-inch strips. So it's not, you don't have to go searching for different. There you go. She's got it right
Right there,
there.
right there. It's
Yeah.
almost like I've been waiting for a marshmallow out of that.
I think it was.
I will probably have to be one of the folks that goes back and watches the replay and does it then, but I saw that pattern a couple months ago when you sent it out with a little bit of the dusted on fabric, and I was like, oh yes.
I
And it's
know.
literally, I have 2 jelly rolls sitting there
Just
waiting,
waiting. Yeah. And
just
the
waiting.
funniest thing is, because I did the other sew along with the Dusted On, which is great, but I've been wanting to do this one. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to do it. If people want to join me, great. If they don't, I'll do it by myself, but I still want to do it. So I decided I'm going to do it. I love the way you use 2.5-inch strips. You don't even have to cut your fabric. It's already pre-cut. And then
Mhm.
sew it together. It goes together really cool, but it looks so hard. That's the thing about Bargellos. They're not that difficult, but they, you know, you it looks complicated, but they're not that bad. You just have to keep organized.
Well, you've got lots of folks in the chat saying hi to each other, but Pam said she's always wanted to do a quilt just like the one behind you. So maybe this would be a great sew along. I tried to jump on the bandwagon when you did the first Dusk to Dawn sew along, where you had kind of like that sunset look.
Yeah.
And I promise you, I intended to do it. In fact, I have all my pieces cut and they're in a bin right here with the pattern. They're labeled and everything. And by the time I got that done, you were done with the sew along.
Oh,
I
I
was like,
know.
well,
Well,
I'll go back and do that later.
this one is going to be a little more time in between, because you have a little more to sew too. So I'm going to give you some time, and summer's so busy, so it'll give me some time to get things that I need to get done, but we'll definitely have it. And if you miss it, you can always go back and look at it. That's the great thing about these videos, is you can always go back and look. And I watch for questions, so if someone has a question, I'll answer it for sure. That's for sure.
So let me ask you about that, right? Let's talk about the logistics of the sew along that you're doing. You're going to need 2 jelly rolls for the ebb and flow for the Bargello look. You're going to
Right.
need some additional fabric for the borders. So in theory, if you wanted to do this with Monique and you don't want to use Dusk to Dawn, maybe you're
Yeah.
saving those jelly rolls for something else. Just get yourself 2 jelly rolls and some
Yes.
yardage for your borders.
Absolutely. Yep.
If folks want to go back and watch the replay, where do they catch those replays at?
You can catch it on Open Gate Quilts YouTube channel or Facebook. Open Gate Quilts and
Awesome.
all the videos are up there, so you can check them out. And we've got a ton of other videos. And if you want to do the first Dust to Dawn, that's up there as well.
So how frequently are you going to be doing the videos? Is it every week, once a month? What are we looking
It's
at?
going to be probably about every 3 to 4 weeks. So we did just the initial one. Now next time we're going to start sewing, and then I'll give you some time, because I know summer's a busy time and people don't have the time to sit down and sew. The nice thing about it is it's basically strip sewing. So you can, like, in the morning get up and you can just sew it really quick, and then go on your day and do something else. So, it's not like you have to sit down intricately and work at a project or at piecing, and you can just do some strip sewing on your way. So it's not difficult.
So what I think I'm hearing from you is wake up in the morning, shower, get dressed, do my hair, get coffee, walk in here, zoom, 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 one strip, and then I can go to work.
Yeah, I'll let you. Isn't that nice of me?
You are awesome.
Well, I'll tell you, I have a friend, and her name is Denise Sinwell. She owns a shop in Iowa. And I'm like, how do you get so much done? And this is what she told me. She said, I spend 15, 20 minutes every morning sewing, and
Hmm.
you would be surprised how much you get done. And I did that for a while, and then you get caught up. You're like, oh, I got to answer this email or I got to do this. So I need to get back into doing that because you are surprised how much you can get done just by those increments, even just a half an hour.
And that's so true because and
Oh,
I
you're stuck
know
again, right?
I no, you're still good. I see you and I hear you. Oh, there you're stuck. Yep, she's stuck. So while she disappears and comes right back, I'll just go ahead and acknowledge that that's one of the things that I struggle with. And I have a room that is completely set up for sewing. There's really no reason why I can't follow that piece of advice where,
I'm back.
hello, welcome back.
No.
We
Hopefully,
heard you
when I
say,
freeze, I'm not doing something.
we heard you go, I'm stuck again. I went, no, you're not. And then I looked and yes, you were.
Yes,
Yes, you were. So
that's
no,
funny.
all I was telling the ladies and gentlemen maybe watching is that's something that I never even thought of because I get stuck in my own head. I'm lucky enough to have a sewing room where all of my equipment is laid out and I can get up mid project, even mid seam if I wanted to, and walk out of the room and not come back for a day, a week, a month, whatever. And when I come back, it'll be there waiting for me. So
Mhm.
I'm lucky in that advantage. But even still, even with this setup, I don't take the time to spend 10 minutes stitching or 15 minutes stitching. And the sad thing is I love this room. It's my happy room. This is
Mhm.
where I'm still a part of the home when I'm in here. I can hear my husband. Like I love this space, but I'll come in here and some days I'll just look out the window or I'll just watch a video or watch YouTube videos or listen to music or read a book or something. And I could just take that 15 to 20 minutes sewing. And gosh, how much more could I get done if I did that? That's an awesome thing to keep in mind.
Yeah, it's a brilliant idea. And you just have to, and it's just like exercising. It's like if you do it, you kind of get in the habit of doing it. So you keep doing it. It's like when I try to take my dogs for a walk every day. And at the end of winter, I'm like, oh, I don't want to walk. But the first couple walks are horrible. But after that, you're just like, okay, we're doing it.
Yeah.
Let's go. And you get in a routine and you just keep going. So that's just
Yep.
like the sewing. And some days you might not feel like it, but so do a couple seams and then say, okay, tomorrow I'll do more. Just
It's really good. Like I talked a couple of months ago about I'm on this better health journey for
mhm.
2022. And if you haven't seen the videos, for those of you watching, I do a weekly vlog video every weekend where I talk about how my past week was and how things are going. And so far, I'm down about 27 pounds for the
You
entire
rock.
year.
I was gonna
I
say you look
know.
like you
Yeah.
lost
I'm
a
so
lot of
excited.
weight. Awesome.
Yeah, and I'm it's not just about the weight loss for me. It is also about it's really just about being a better version of myself, mentally, spiritually, physically, all of those things. It just whatever's not making me happy, whatever's not allowing me to grow, cutting that stuff out of my life and focusing on the things that allow me to be happier. I firmly believe that there's always a silver lining in every scenario, even when you got to look for it, right?
Right.
So, where I was going to go with that is I mentioned in one of my weight loss vlogs, my better health blogs, that sometimes it's just about the mentality, the mindset that you're going to do this thing. I work on the second story of an office building, but in office buildings, one floor of stairs is really two, and two is like three or four because the you got all the
Right.
extra buffer for fireproof and stuff. Well, at the beginning of the year, there is no way I could have walked up those stairs to go to my office. And I have been setting that as a goal that I want to be more active. I want to move more. And I want to start using the steps instead of taking the elevator to go up one flight of stairs. And it's not like I know I can do it. I just don't want to. And it's hard. And oh, she's gone. She'll be right back. There she
Back
is.
now.
Um, you're okay. It's hard. It makes things a little difficult to take those stairs. But what I realized is it's really about the mental mindset that I just have to turn the corner. I just have to take those first two steps away from the elevator and then I'm not going to take the elevator. I'm going to take the stairs because I've already made up my mind. It's the same thing that you're talking about with the 15 minutes every day of quilting. Just make up your mind that you're going to do it and go. Set your timer. Karen Brown from Just Get It Done Quilts talks about this all the time. Get your little egg timer, set your timer for 15 or 30 minutes. And then you're good to go. Are you having an okay time there, Miss Monique?
I'm like, oh, I'm frozen again.
You're frozen
what
again.
I should do the next time we come back on is go like, and then everybody will be like, wait a second, is she still frozen?
Well, I don't know if it's your device that's dropping you, but if you want to take the time the next time it drops to switch devices, I'll hold down the fort for you. Maybe that'll be a little bit more stable.
We'll try it next time. Sound
Okay.
good? Mark's like, okay, we'll give it a shot.
Well, what's the worst that's going to happen? You're going to get booted from that one too, right?
That's right. That's right. I'll be frozen no matter what.
Shelly Clark said she thinks that you are sneaking away to sew for a minute.
You should see the quilt I just finished.
Oh, yeah. So I'm really excited about the sew along, and I do have intentions of doing it. No, I'm not doing it on a video. Yes, it's going to be a personal sew. We're not calling those selfish sews anymore because there's nothing selfish about wanting to spend some time on you. It is a personal sew. And so I'm going to do that one on my own time away from the cameras, but Monique's doing all this in front of the camera. So make sure that you follow her Facebook and her YouTube channel to stay up to date on all those. Nancy Gus wants to tell you, thank you for my project pouch. I got it finished. Nancy Guess, I'm sorry, wrong Nancy. But she said thank you for her project pouch. Oh, she's frozen. Monique says you're welcome. She's probably going to switch devices. So we'll let her stay there for a minute. We'll put her down here so she doesn't have a weird look until she comes back. In fact, we'll put her in the waiting room until she comes back. There we go. All right. So before she comes back, oh, here she is. Are you back now?
Mark's going to go see if he can turn something off upstairs. I don't know. We'll see.
Okay. So I was just telling you, Nancy Guess had said, thank you for my project pouch. She got it finished. Nope, she's frozen again. I can see what's happening. Her cell phone signal is going so I'll tell you a little bit about tech while I'm waiting for her to come back. On the left-hand side, I can see all of the guests that come into the live stream because I'm hosting the event, and each one of them have a little cell phone. It's like the little bars that you see on your cell phone, little cell signal or signal strength, and it goes from 1 bars up to 4 bars. And as it gets lower to that 1 bar, it turns red, and as it gets to that bigger bar, that full strength, it's green. And whatever they're doing over there, she has got zip cell phone or zip signal. It's all the way down at a red. So it looks like they have just popped out. She's got a nice strong signal now. Are you back?
I'm back.
Okay. Well, I was telling the folks, I was ramping a little bit. I was telling them, I can see your signal strength above your picture icon. And it looks like you're going down to like 0 signal on whatever device you were using.
Try to take it off Wi-Fi.
Okay. We're going to try. You keep talking. We're going to try to take it off Wi-Fi and see if that helps.
Okay. Sounds good. So we'll see for them. Wait for them to come back.
Did you see all my stuff?
No, I can't see anything. It's a black screen, but I can hear you.
As I'm giggling.
We have the ghost of Monique. She's just giggling with anticipation. Oh, goodness. I'm going to go through the chat and see if we've got any questions. Awesome observation. Well said. Quiltessa looks like she fell down. Oh, no. I hope you're doing okay. Colleen said, tech is a bully. Yes, tech can be a bully. That's so funny. Oh, and I think we're back. Hi, Mark. I see your arm, and now you're gone. Oh, there you go. Well, your signal looks nice and strong, so let's hope this does it for you.
Cross our
Fingers
fingers.
crossed.
Okay.
Fingers
So
crossed.
you were talking about what now? I missed the whole thing. Pooh.
You know what? It doesn't even matter at this
Okay.
point. I
Okay.
was just kind of, I think where I last left things is it's all about the mindset, right? Like I
Yes.
made a mindset to do this one thing and it, setting aside those 15 minutes a day, just getting the mindset that you're going to do it. That's
Yes.
the first step. And once you do that, it's downhill from there.
And it is, and it's all routine. We all get into a routine, and if you
Yep.
do the routine every day, you're just like your body or your mind is like, okay, this is what we're doing. Kind of like my dog. That's how my dog is. It's like we eat at this time, we go out at this time. You know how that is. So yeah,
Yep. Very
definitely
much.
have the routines.
Very much. All right. So are you ready? Oh, wait. No. Did you want to talk about the second thing that we talked about before we open the box?
Yes.
Okay. You guys,
So
before she tells you, Monique and I spend about 10 minutes or so just making sure that we know what she wants to talk about before we join. So she's already told me about this, and I want to do backflips. I had nothing to do with this, but I am super excited for it. So without further ado, Monique, what is that second announcement?
okay, let's hope we don't freeze. The big announcement is so I am doing a 12 days of Christmas box, and I am so excited about this. What it'll be is and it's kind of combination between an advent calendar and a 12 days of Christmas. You'll get one big box, and in the box it'll have all the numbers on it, 1 through 12,
Mhm.
and each number is the day you're going to open it. So you would open the first one, and it could be anything. It could be a notion, it could be a gift, it could be anything. And at the end, you're going to have a quilt project, a quilt that you will actually make. So, and it's a pretty large quilt. It's a large lap quilt. I've already had the fabric. I'm super excited. It looks cool. I'm excited about making it. And you're going to get lots of cool gifts, like not just for the project. I might find something that I think, oh, these everybody would love this. I love it, and I will give it to you. So, and everything will be wrapped up. I'm so excited about it too. And I'll have some different projects not related to the final project. And that's where Becca comes in because she's going to help me make some of them. Yay!
Yeah. You've got a few people out there talking about how they're excited, how this sounds like a great box. Sounds exciting, sounds great. Can't wait. It'll be great. I love Christmas and everything from Colleen. Like I can't pin the comments fast enough.
Oh,
So
that's
let's talk
awesome.
about let's talk about I don't even know because you didn't even share this, and I feel like I might be stepping on a little bit of a minefield here, but when can we expect to get our hands on a pre-order for that?
I'm going to pre order in August. I'm
Okay.
taking names down too for people who are interested. I'm capping it at 50. And there's a couple of reasons for that. I know there's a couple of reasons for that. I don't know if for those of you who get my subscription box and you've seen from Becca, I put my heart and soul in them. I design the patterns. We package them up so they're pretty. We make sure everything looks good. We try not to miss anything. We really work at it. And that's how I want this Christmas box to be, just ramped up a little bit. Like we're going to wrap them all pretty so you actually have an actual wrapped present to open each day. I will think about, I'll ask some questions like, what's your favorite color? And you know, what are you traditional or things like that, so I can specifically make it for each person so they feel like they're getting a gift from us.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing. We're pretty excited about it. I've been shopping, having a great time finding stuff for it.
Yeah, that's great. And I've had several people ask now, so I'm not going to pin just one comment, but it goes without saying. You knew this was going to be my next question. Do you have a price point or ballpark for what it's going to be yet?
It's going to be around 160.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
comparable, I think, to what the 25 days is with Missouri Star. They give you more gifts, but as I saw, their box was fine. I loved their box. They
Sure.
had more days, but the items weren't as nice as what I found we got in the Cotton Cuts box. So it seems to be pretty spot on with a quilty advent calendar. And when you think about the fact that you're going to have a lap quilt top out of it, that feels like a
Yeah.
no-brainer to me.
Well, yeah, and that's, and I look at it too. You're going to get a pattern for a quilt. You're going to get all the fabric for a quilt plus the binding. You're going
Yeah.
to get also another project that's pretty not super small, and you'll get different fabrics and stuff. So it's not like you're just getting a spool of thread and the kit. You're getting a lot of different things with it. And I really work at saving money so I can give you guys as much as I can and make it so you're excited and you love what I'm doing. And if you like my patterns, then you'll like the quilt, because I was like, wow, this is really cool.
I think this is a great idea, and I am super excited to see what you do with this. And just so everybody knows, like, I literally had no idea she was doing this. This is not like Becca was like, Monique, let's do this thing. No, Monique did this on her own. She told me about it 5 minutes before the live, and I said, I'm willing to collab with you. That's a great idea. So I don't even know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to do something in the series, and I don't know what it is, and we'll figure it out.
And we will,
So
for sure. So if
there
anybody is
are,
interested, you
yes.
just email me at info@opengatequilts.com and I'll put you on the list. And first come, first serve, because I sent out a newsletter, and that's another thing. If you're not on my newsletter list, go to opengatequilts.com and you can sign up, and you'll get an email on all the things that are happening in Open Gate's little world.
Yes, that's a great way. I do have to address, I've now blown my nose twice on camera, although I muted the microphone.
At least
And
you
we've
didn't.
got some people, they're like, is that your allergies? I hope it's just your allergies. Yes, it's allergies. I got over my cold. Everything was fine. And then today allergies started kicking in. I haven't had a chance to take the allergy med. So that's why I got my box of tissues here. Just
It's a bad year
everything's
for
fine.
allergies. Yeah, good. Yeah, it's a bad year for allergies. It's
It
horrible.
is. Well,
Mhm.
and we're surrounded by all these trees too. So the tree pollen is in our, but like I walk outside and it's like right there. So
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
it is what it is.
Yeah.
Well, we've been live for half an hour and it seems like you're here to stay this time. So whatever you did,
I
you fixed it. Are
am.
we ready to open the box and see what we have?
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. I'd love to see it.
Now, I will tell you, I did peek. I know what's in here this time because you have started sending this box to Tiffany from Tiffany's Quilting Life. And if you guys haven't seen it already, she's doing an unboxing for these, but she's doing it in a completely different way. And it's the only box she's unboxing. Instead of just showing you what's in there and talking about it, she's doing a video where she walks you through she just shows you putting everything together, not a tutorial. It's just like an entertainment, like soothe your sewing needs. So if you haven't checked out her videos,
So
make
cool.
sure to go over and check those out. I love what she's doing.
I do too. I just smile when I'm watching her. I'm like, that is so
Uh,
cool. And I'm like, she's doing a lot of work, that lady.
she is. She is.
Yeah. It's awesome.
So let's get you guys to the overhead camera up here. And what we've got is the box. So we were talking just a couple minutes ago about how Monique puts her heart and soul into the box. And I just want to, I think today, because I'm not going to have time to sew even the small project tonight. So we're just going to look at the box and we're going to experience this together. And I want to make sure that you're picking up every one of these little details that Monique puts into this. So Monique, I'm going to go to a bigger view of me and a smaller
Okay.
view of you, just so folks can get a better experience here.
Excellent.
There we
Yeah.
go, just like this. So first thing I want to point out, I don't know if you see this, but this is on every single one of my boxes. Monique, I always see my name handwritten on the box down here before the label goes on. And I was, in the beginning, when I saw that, I was like, why is she doing that? Because we all get the same thing. Well, it's because if it's my birthday, there's a little birthday something in there. And she prides herself on doing these, even if it's just like a card, there's something nice in the box. So just heads up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway,
And it's funny because like if someone has a birthday and I'll put their name and birthday on it, and someone else pointed that out, they're like, "Oh, it's my birthday."
your
So it's
box told
kind of
them they
cool.
had a birthday.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Happy birthday, I'm getting a gift.
Oh, it's my birthday. Thank you. I forgot.
Sometimes we want to forget those things.
Yeah, sometimes,
Mhm.
sometimes. All right. I've used my box cutter to open the box. So
Awesome.
when you open the box this way, yes, here, let's get this out of here. When you open the box this way, you're going to pull it open and you're going to have a box up here that has a sticker on it that says Open Gate Quilt Box. And then down here, you'll have this tissue paper with a little sticker on it with their logo. And you tear apart the tissue paper. It's always wrapped so nicely. And you have right on top a sheet of paper that tells you about everything that's in here. And this is printed on a nice piece of paper. It's very easy to read. It tells you what your first project is, what your second project is, what your notion of the month is. Stop looking. what your thread is going to be, and then what your bonus item is. So every month when you get a box, you either get a bonus pattern that Monique wrote, or you get an extra fat quarter, and she gives that to you. And then she also gives you a video in here to a tutorial for, or is it a tutorial or is it just an unboxing?
It's an
I'll admit I've not
unboxing. I
watched them.
do say a few things, like I'll tell how I quilted it and that kind of thing, but it's more of an unboxing too, so they can see. And I kind of give hints on why I did what I did and why I chose what
Okay.
I chose. So yeah, it's more of an insight than a tutorial. But stay tuned for that, ladies. We're gonna be coming up with some cool stuff, and we might be doing some Zoom classes and stuff with the box. So
I think that's a
keep
great idea.
keep
More to
tuned.
come.
We're hashing it out. We're going to be doing some fun stuff. So if you're not in the subscription box and you want to be, it's opengatequilts.com, and you can sign up. And also for the larger project, you can sign up to get backing for it. So when you're doing your project, you don't even have to go out and get backing. It's already included in there. And that's an additional $10. So if you're interested, check it out.
Okay. So we're going to go back to the unboxing, but
Yeah.
this time what I'm going to do is move the chat off of the screen, and we're going to try to let the video take up as much of the YouTube video as possible so that you can really get a good appreciation for this. That means for those of you that are watching the replay, you're not going to be able to see the integrated chat, but we'll bring it back as soon as we're done going through the items. Are
Sounds
you
great.
ready?
I'm
All
ready.
right, we're going to turn off the chat overlay, and we're going to go down to this little picture in
Look at
picture
that.
view. Yeah, and I'm going to put myself in the upper corner, and this is going to make it really nice and big for those of you watching on a smaller device so you can see what's in here. So there are two projects. There's a notion, there's thread, and there's an extra fat quarter. I'm going to pull them all out one at a time, and I'm going to show you what each one is. I'll set that box aside. So let's start with the thread because that's the least exciting, I think, compared to everything else in the box. We always get a small spool of Aurifil 50 weight cotton thread. This is a 2-ply 100% cotton thread. This is a strong thread. It's great for piecing, and ironically, this is color number 2000, which is the color on my machine right now. I use Aurifil
How
for
about
all of my piecing. Yeah. And she does a really good job of coordinating the color thread with the project. So you could use this for your piecing or your quilting if you're going to quilt it on the domestic machine. And I'll show you that when we get into showing you the main project. The next item that we have is our notion of the month, and we have got a bobbin boat. These are handy little tools that allow you to take, I just happen to have one here for the baby lock. You can put your little bobbins in here. It keeps them nice and tidy, and you line them all up and you can pull it out when you need it. I think these are genius. And I know Miss Tiffany could definitely use the one that you sent to her because she keeps like a bucket full of bobbins.
She needs a few more of them, does she?
I think she does. I may donate mine to her in the next box I send to her. All
That's
right,
funny.
let's talk about this bonus fat quarter. I'm going to let you talk about this while I open it up and show it off. What is this?
This is an artist who is with Maywood Studio. Her name's Hannah Dale, and she designs. She's a draw. She draws and paints, and it's her art is fantastic. And when I saw this, I thought this is such a different look than a lot of fabric, and it'd be a great fat quarter if you wanted to make something small or to add to your stash. It just feels springy and fun, something other than just bright. It just has such a nice feel to it, so that's why I picked hers. And there's different colors. I think you have the blue.
Mhm.
And again, when I do the box, I do send out a survey every 3 or 4 months, and I ask some questions. And one is, what's your favorite color that you use in quilting? So I try to remember that and make notes of it. And if there's a blue, or if someone likes a purple, I'll put a purple in their box. So
That's
to try and,
awesome.
yeah, because I want it to be personal. I want everybody to know that I'm actually thinking of you when I'm making these boxes.
Well, I absolutely love it. And I will say, I feel like there's two things about this fat quarter that I kind of love. The first one, what caught my eye right away are these little flowers. These look like cherry blossoms to me. Maybe they're a dogwood. I don't know. But my favorite flower ever is a cherry blossom. So I saw this and I was like,
Really
yes.
cool.
Oh my gosh, yes. So there are two. I have a weakness for fabrics, two types of fabric. Well, three batiks. But if the fabric has a cherry blossom on it or words, I'm a sucker for it. Like if it has cherry blossoms on it, even if it's ugly, I want it. And I don't know why. Like I've always been that way. So absolutely love it. But the other thing that jumped out at me is between the color of the fabric and the dots that are on here speckled, it felt like this was like those robin eggs that you get around Easter time. Like the
Hmm.
Whoppers candy.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah. Yeah, you're right. They does kind of look like that. That's funny.
yeah, so that's
I,
really cute.
I'm with you on the words. If there's a word fabric, I'm like, I gotta have it. It's just so cool. I don't
Right?
know
You're
what I'm
like,
gonna do with all the words, but I gotta have it.
I don't know what I'm gonna do with all of it, but it will be mine and I will love it,
Yep,
and you can't have it.
that's right. That's right. Sometimes
All
we
right.
just need to feel it and
Uh-huh.
love it.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna show the small project. I will show off what we have, but why don't you talk us through what this is gonna make?
Okay, I even have samples. Okay,
Ooh,
so I know. So the small projects, there's actually two of them in there. And the whole reason is that I wanted to do something for um, someone who is going through chemo and has a port on their chest. And this is
mhm,
made so that they can put this on their seat belt, and this goes in there, and it protects their port from being rubbed on. And here's my word fabric. I wanted to do something that has a positive feel to it. So it's got be yourself, be kind, queen bee, be happy. So when they look at it, they can feel good about it. And I suggest, if you don't have somebody who is going through, you can donate these. People are looking for these because they suffer from that, and I can see where
mhm.
that would be. So I designed this for them, and then I designed this for us. This is a seatbelt cozy. So you put it
Okay.
on your seatbelt, and I know there's a lot of shorter people. I know Shonda was saying she's shorter, and the seatbelt cuts into her neck. So you put
Mhm.
that on and protects your neck. So one for you and for someone else who needs a little something for them.
That's awesome. I got to tell you, I have been taking quilted little pieces of fabric and I put cam snaps on them and wrap it around the seat belt so that I have like a little bit because it's right up here, right? It gets you
Yeah.
like right here. it, I've done all the things to get it away from here, including like holding the seatbelt down
Oh, yeah.
just a couple inches while I'm driving. So,
Yep. Exactly.
yep.
Exactly.
I'm really excited to do that. So she showed what it looked like, but your video picture is a little pixelated. I'm not sure why. So I'm showing you now in the overhead camera a
There you
picture
go.
that goes on the kit. There you go. It's nice and focused in there. So this is the port pillow that she was showing us. And the other piece is just using the same fabric to make kind of like a little Velcro closed quilted thing that you can put on your seatbelt to protect your neck from the seatbelt. So what I want you to take away from this is number one, there's two projects in here. You even have your little package of stuffing to put in the port pillow. Everything you need to make this project is inside this bag. It is labeled, and on the back, it has a picture. So you can see everything all at once. And she's put it in this cellophane bag. So if I wanted to, I could take this, I could put it on my shelf to do later. It's going to keep over time. I could drop it in the mail to a friend if I wanted to pay it forward. I love that she does this because the reality is when you get a box, you don't always have the time to actually work through the projects that are there. So having everything packaged together in a foolproof packaging helps. Folks are
Yeah.
saying you're frozen, but I don't see you frozen on my end. I think your video's like
And
not
maybe I'm
keeping
just
up.
not moving or talking. I think I'm
Yeah,
frozen.
or that.
Well, and the other thing
All right, so
about getting the kits all complete is that when
mhm,
I go in my sewing room and I want to do a project, if I don't have everything, I get frustrated. I'm like, oh, well, now I got to go find, fusible webbing or whatever it is that
yeah,
needs to be in that project. If you have it all, you can get it done. And then if you want to make more, that's when you look for all that stuff. But you know that you can make it. Like these take no time at all. And you could do like a huge production and make a ton of them, donate them, and you'll feel good about it. It's just one of
yeah,
those things that you just want to make, easy,
yeah,
quick, kind of like masks when everybody was making masks. Once you got it
yeah.
down, you were like, okay, mask
Now I
production.
can do an assembly line.
That's right. Exactly.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I will say I've I love that you do that. That makes my heart very happy. And I know what you're talking about because I actually have some projects on the shelf behind me where I thought it was a kit and I went to get into it and I was missing some interfacing, so it's still sitting in the
Mhm.
bag.
Oh yeah, I've got
All
plenty
right.
of those too.
Oh, by the way, before we jump into the next project, I'm just going to read this one out for you. Deidre Powell says, I appreciate the completeness. I've had
Thank
triangles on a roll for a while and I haven't used it until I got some in the box with a project. And now I get it.
Awesome. Hi, Deidre. Thank you.
See?
It's exactly true. It's until you
Yep.
have something to work with. It's just like all the tools that we get. I get all these tools and then like rulers and different things. And I'm like, if I don't have a project, I'm like, it'll sit on the shelf for a while. So it's nice to have everything included with it.
Yep. Christine Houghton says the seatbelt cozy will be used by me as I have a port for chemo treatments. Thank you for being so thoughtful.
That gave me shivers. Thank you. I'm so glad. I hope you get better. Thank you.
Yeah, me too. Nancy Gus says those seat belts, those seatbelt covers would be great donated to a cancer center or hospital. That'd be
Mhm.
a great service project.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I did put check with your local cancer center. If you don't have somebody, you can just go online and find out. I know we have one close by that we could. And another thing that you could do is if you have kids in the house or if they can do the stuffing because they would have
Oh
fun
yeah,
stuffing and helping, doing
yeah,
that kind of thing. So yeah, and this would be a great project for kids too, because it's really simple. So it'd be a fun
it
one
is
for
really
them.
simple.
Yeah.
But you know what is a little bit more complex? project number 1 called
Always is,
Turn It
Becca.
Up.
Always is.
It always is, and they're always great projects, and I feel like I run out of time to sew because I don't follow your advice to spend 15 minutes a day sewing. So this is
I
what
don't
the
even
main
follow my
project looks
advice. Come
like.
on.
I will tell you, again, the packaging here, absolutely phenomenal. She folds all the fabric nicely, but she doesn't just fold it and put it in a bag. She folds it so that you can see all of the cuts of fabric. So you know, looking at this bag, how things are going to look together and if you're going to like it or not. Sometimes it's not going to be your cup of tea. Sometimes you're going to be like, oh my goodness. And you're going to know just by looking at the package. There's nothing more to say about it. But when you flip it over on the back, there is, if it would focus, there it
There you
goes.
go.
On the back side, there is a picture, just like every other kit that she puts in the box, of what the finished project looks like. So you know exactly what it is you're making with this. It's labeled on the front, it's on the back, and everything you need for that quilt top is in here. And I'll tell you, spoiler alert, I have been known to do this. Open it up, take my small spool of thread and put that right in here
Perfect.
because that spool of thread, in fact, let me put it the other way. This spool of thread coordinates beautifully with all of the fabric that she has curated. And so if I do this, then I know whoever does this project is going to have everything they need for the top, plus some coordinating thread that they could use to quilt it with.
Absolutely. And the nice thing about the Orifil thread, even though it's a small, there's more in it. So you can piece and quilt with it, especially those smaller projects because you don't need as much. But it's beautiful for quilting. I do all my quilting with Orifil thread. It's really nice thread.
I will say, I feel like I have, when it comes to all of the, I'm going to turn the chat overlay back on because that's the contents of the box. I feel like we see these little spools of thread and we misjudge just how much thread is on that little spool.
Mm-hmm.
I feel
Yeah.
like we look at it, we're like, oh, that's a small spool. I'm not going to bother with it. I'm going to get the big one. But you guys, the big spool of thread that is on my machine, which is just now starting to get low, I've had there for months. Like I've done a lot with that big spool of thread. So
Right. Right.
yeah,
Yep.
don't misjudge how small that, like there's a lot on that small spool. You have enough to be able to piece it and I dare say quilt it.
Yeah, I agree. And I wanted to show you too the finished one so you can see. And then I don't know if is it focusing okay?
Yeah, it is. And I'm trying to see if I can get you in a little bit. But there we go. That'll make it a little bit bigger. Oh,
Yeah,
look at
there
that
we go.
quilting you did.
Yeah, and I just did this. This is another thing that I tell people too is these are great projects for practicing on your domestic machine because they're small enough that you can get them out there and they're not cumbersome and you can do some fun stuff. I just did a flower and echoed out here. I didn't do as much just because it's more of a busier fabric and you wouldn't see it. But then when you look at the back, you can really see the quilting.
Just don't move. Hold it right there because
Okay.
everybody's saying you're frozen on their end, but they can still hear you.
Oh,
So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to move you back down to below because I know what she's trying to show you. I'm going to give you the overhead view and we're going to come in and look at this
there you go.
picture because this is what she's showing you. I just got to get it to focus.
There
There
you
you
go.
go. Now you can really see that quilting beautifully. What she's telling you is that she did the flowers in those triangles that are setting this churn dash on point, and she's highlighting that this small project is a great project to practice your free motion quilting with. And you know, if you want to see more details of what that quilting looks like, I am sure Monique would be happy to post pictures of the front and back of her completed project on her social media. So maybe that would be a good reason for you to check out her Facebook page, her YouTube channel. I don't know, do you have an Instagram too, Monique?
We do have an Instagram at Open
Look at
Gate
that.
Quilts. Yeah,
Look at
at
that.
Open.
So if you
Yeah.
guys want to see more pictures, since she's having some video difficulties, go check out her social media and I'm sure she'll toss some pictures out there for you.
I will. And I do have a subscription box group page, and I do
Hmm.
put pictures of these. I can put it on my regular page as well so people can look at it. But it's a great way to see what the quilting is and how I quilted it, because that's half the battle. You get the quilt top
Hmm.
done, and you're like, okay, now I need to get it quilted. And something small like this, you don't know if you want to bring it to a long arm, but it's a great way to learn. It's really,
It
that's
is.
how I learned, is just smaller projects and practice.
And by the way, can I segue for a second? I want to
Sure.
show you. I want this whole 15-minute thing that we talked about. We
Yeah.
need to take 15 minutes to sew every day. Earlier this week, I took some orphaned blocks that were bigger blocks. Some of them, well, this one doesn't really count. I took some bigger blocks that were orphaned and I put them. I don't have the other mini quilt, but this will be fine. I put them up on my long arm because I had just finished quilting a quilt. And I was like, okay, I have extra backing and some batting left over at the bottom of my
Oh,
quilt. And it's just enough that I could practice doing something. So this is what I did. Like, I'm really
brilliant.
excited about it.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to the overhead camera. We're going to put you down in the corner.
Okay.
Do, 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 go in the corner. There we go. So, okay. I had been having problems with my quilts bunching up when I got to the bottom. And so I was
Hmm.
talking to Tiffany about it. And she's like, you got to base the quilt, the top and the sides when you load it on the long arm. So I was like, okay, I'll try that. And then I'm going to try doing some quilting, purposeful, like intentional quilting that I have never really done before.
Oh,
So
brilliant.
this block that I am showing you right now is a foundation paper piece block that I did in patriotic colors. And I just tossed it up on the extra backing and batting of my long arm after I was done with the quilt. And I practiced using rulers for the outsides. And then in here, I
Ah,
just practiced doing pebbles. But really, what I was practicing is, what does it feel like? Do I get the bunching if I based at the top, down the sides, and the bottom when I load it on the long arm? And I'm happy to say, no, I did not. And then I decided I needed to try that again. And so I took the same block in a different colorway and I did the same type of quilting, but with thread that really matched this a little bit better. And so you can see on the back some of that detail that I did for the quilting.
oh,
I
yeah.
did ruler work out here and I did pebbles in these little star legs that came out.
That looks
And then
beautiful.
I
That's
decided,
practice.
thank you. Practice, right? Practice on your orphan blocks. And
That's
then I
right.
decided I was going to yeah, I decided I was going to try one more time. And so this is an orphan block that, or it's not an orphan block. It's a block that I made out of scrap half square triangle units that I kept in my bin. And I absolutely love the way the block turned out. And I knew I wanted to turn this into a mini quilt I hung on my wall. And I wanted the quilting to pop out a little bit more than the other one did. So I left a variegated thread in here and I did ruler work in these four kind of like flying geese areas.
Hmm.
And then over here in the white, I just did pebbles. And then I did lines in the purple on the four corners. And I kind of echoed or traced along this area just to kind of give it a little bit of puffiness. And that's what it looks like on the back. So all that to say, the practicing 10 minutes a day, 15 minutes a day, that could be applied to anything. This
Absolutely.
is definitely it's good quilting, but it's not where I want to be, but it is a whole lot better than where I have been. And so I'm really excited about
Right.
that.
Absolutely.
Practice
And
goes a long
that's,
way.
I taught machine quilting on the domestic machine for years. Like, I mean,
Mhm.
15, 20 years. And everybody's like, well, how did you get where you're at? Practice. It's a lot
That's
of
right.
practice. And one of the things that I tell people is take a small lap quilt or a baby quilt and practice on it. By the time you get to the end, you're going to be so much better. And if you give it to your dog, or something that you're not too worried about, do something whole cloth and practice. The more you
Mhm.
practice, the better you'll be and the more confident. And then you'll start looking forward to it. Because I know it's some people find it very hard to do and aren't excited about it. But once you
Yeah.
get better, then you're like, okay, this is kind
Yeah.
of fun. Yeah.
Well, and see, that's what I was challenging myself to do. I actually have a quilt top over there that I'll show on another live. But what I had done is I loaded this quilt top that was not perfect by any means. I did it years ago. I loaded it, it was still pretty, but I loaded it on my long arm and I decided rather than just doing these all over edge to edge designs, I want to start getting to the point where I am intentionally quilting some areas. I see like Tiffany and Teresa who do this beautiful custom free motion quilt work on their block on their quilts, and I want to intentionally quilt blocks differently. That's part of the whole desire of doing this for me.
Right.
So I challenged myself on that one that it's basically charm squares set on point. I
Hmm.
challenged myself that in the charm square, I was always going to do a leaf, and in the white negative space, I was going to do a flower of some sort, and that was going to be the theme. And I would do feathers in the border. And that got me into the mindset of, okay, I need to think about how I'm going to travel from this block to this block, keeping with the theme, filling in the space, and having it nicely quilted. And when I was done with that, I had such a good time. I decided I wanted to try intentional quilting by areas that are on the quilt on these little scrap blocks that I had nothing to do with. So, all that to say, if you're looking to practice your free motion quilting, intentional or otherwise, your scrap blocks are a great way to do that. And when I'm done with this could make an awesome table topper, a mini wall. I can hang it on my wall for a while. I could
You could
make
frame
it a
it.
mouse pad,
Yep.
placemat, frame it.
Yep. Yep. And people, other people would love that. If you bound it up and gave it to them, they'd be like, this is awesome. So, and that's
Yep.
another thing, especially when you're beginning, you are more critical of yourself than anybody. If you
Mhm.
give it to somebody, they're looking at the colors, they're not
Yep.
looking at the quilting.
Yep.
So they'll be happy to get your practice blocks. They'll be like, this is great, or a practice quilt, because then it's from you. That's the important
Yep.
part. Hmm.
Yep. 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 I am always so I I am so harsh on my own stuff, and I'm sure everybody out here can relate to this, but I am so harsh on myself and my own progress because I see the imperfections in my project and I expect others to see it too. Or I expect them to not understand why this is important. But I need to stop thinking like that and start
Hmm.
just embracing that I can let these pieces of art, because that's what it is, whether it's good
Hmm.
art or not, it doesn't matter. I can
Right.
let these pieces of art go into the world and they'll find their forever home. They'll find where they're supposed to be. I tell myself in my head, and this is a self esteem thing that I am sure we all struggle with. I tell myself in my head that nobody's going to want this. Nobody wants this because I see the mistakes in it, right?
Right.
Nobody's going to want this. Why should I give it away? I'll just hold on to it, or I'll just donate it or whatever. But then I think about my family and friends that I've made quilts for and how they fold them up and put them in the closet and cherish them because they don't want them messed up and they
Right.
won't use them. And then I'm like, wait a minute. If they'll do that with a quilt, how much more would like this is something they can use.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Or you can even put them all together and make a little larger quilt. Just do
Yeah.
some binding on it, and away you go. When you give a quilt away, they're just going to love it no matter
Yep.
what, because it's made from you by you. That's the important
Yep.
thing. And we have to be less critical of ourselves and know
We
that we're
do.
learning. The more we learn, the better we'll get, and that's just the way, just like everything. So Michael Jordan didn't go out just shooting threes and kicking butt.
Melissa in the chat said no one else really sees your mistakes. They just see your success and your talent. And I I think where I sit is I don't see that I have talent. I see that I did something that anybody else could do if they just put the time and energy into practicing. But it doesn't even matter. I enjoyed the process.
Yeah.
Other
Yeah.
I am very happy that I was able to tackle intentional quilting and I cannot wait to do more of it.
Awesome. And that's the important thing. As long as you keep wanting to do it, then that's the part that you take away from it. It's like
Yep.
you'll get better no matter what.
Yep.
So
Yep. And I think we're going to end tonight with this message from Miss Liz. Be as kind to yourself as you would to a friend. And I think that is amazing advice. I've been trying to tell myself that for weeks, if not a couple of months. I
hi,
need to put it
Liz.
on my wall.
Liz, Liz is wonderful. She's just a sweetheart. And thank you. I agree with her. I totally agree.
Yep. Well, Miss Monique, thank you so much for opening your box with me. I had a
After
blast
we
as
got through our
always.
Frozen.
Eh, technical difficulties plague even the best of us sometimes. It's just how
That's
you
right.
roll with the punches in the moment, right? So
Exactly.
it is what it
Exactly.
is.
Yep.
So I'm gonna probably work on that seatbelt cover before I get in my car tomorrow because I think it's pretty powerful.
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
but I don't think I have any other questions. I do want to tell people again, if you want to see this go together in kind of a time lapse video, go check out Tiffany's video. It's up there. It's amazing. And it's a really pretty quilt. Monique, is there anything else you want to share with us tonight?
Just if you want to sign up for the subscription box, go to opengatequilts.com. You can sign up there. And if you're interested in the Christmas box, you can email me at info@opengatequilts.com. And look for we'll be doing more announcements and more little sneak peeks and teases coming up. So you'll kind of get an idea of what we're doing.
So do I have to email you or is this good? I
I
want in.
I think I can put you on the list.
I
I think
love
I
it. I
will.
love it. All right,
That's
guys, if
awesome.
you boxes ship out on the 1st of July. So if you want to get the July box before they go out, make sure to sign up soon.
Yep.
There are a few vacancies open. If you want to get in on the Christmas box, email Monique. Thank you so
Yep.
much for hanging out with us tonight. And we will
Awesome.
see you guys all. Well, I'll see you tomorrow. Monique will see you guys on her channel and stuff next week on Thursday, right?
Yep. That sounds good. And thank you so much, Becca. I love
Oh,
hanging
of
out with you.
course.
We'll have to do this more often.
Like I said, you could come to Virginia.
We will.
I,
don't
I
don't
may
ask
challenge
unless
you
you
to
want
make
us
a
to.
trip.
We're coming.
All right, guys. We'll see you
All
all
right.
later.
All right. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.